Why the human medic was covered in enemy blood instead of healing. Part 1. First contact gone. Wrong. Alex Carter watched the stars through the small window of the medical bay. The exploration ship Horizon moved slowly toward the alien station. Alex felt both excited and nervous. This was humanity's first meeting with the Vespari, insect-like aliens who had sent signals to Earth 6 months ago. "Dr. Carter, please report to the bridge." Captain Ben Miller's voice came through the speaker on the wall. Alex grabbed her medical kit and hurried through the narrow halls of the ship. Her short brown hair was pulled back and her blue medical uniform was clean and pressed. At 34 years old, Alex was one of the most respected doctors in the space program. Before becoming a doctor, she had studied alien biology, with special focus on insect-like creatures. When Alex reached the bridge, Captain Miller nodded at her. He was a tall man with a serious face and gray at his temples. "We're about to dock with the Vespari station," he said. "I want you with the first team." "Me?" Alex asked. "I'm just a doctor." "You studied alien biology before medical school. We need your eyes on this," Miller said. "Plus, bringing a doctor shows peaceful intentions." Alex nodded. She checked her medical kit one more time. Inside were basic tools: bandages, medicine, scanners, and a few emergency items. The first contact team gathered at the airlock. Besides Alex, there was Captain Miller, First Officer Susan Green, Communications Officer Ryan Baker, and 2 security officers, Frank Adams and Kate Powell. They all wore the blue and white uniforms of Earth's exploration fleet. "Remember," Captain Miller said as they waited, "we are guests here. The Vespari invited us. We show respect at all times." The airlock hissed open, revealing a tall, wide tunnel connecting their ship to the Vespari station. The air smelled slightly sweet, like flowers and spice. The team walked slowly through the tunnel. Alex's heart beat fast. No human had ever seen a living Vespari before. The tunnel ended in a large round room. 3 Vespari waited for them. They stood on 2 legs like humans, but they were taller, nearly 7 feet. Their bodies were covered in a hard, shiny shell-colored deep blue and green. Their heads had large compound eyes and moving mouthparts. Each had 4 arms ending in hands with 3 fingers. Ryan Baker stepped forward with a translation device. "Greetings from Earth. We come in peace and friendship." The translation device turned his words into a series of clicks and humming sounds. The largest Vespari responded, and the device translated back. "Welcome to Vespari Station 4. I am Coordinator Zekith. These are my assistants." Captain Miller introduced each team member. When he reached Alex, he said, "This is Dr. Alex Carter, our medical officer." The Vespari seemed to show special interest in Alex. Their antennae moved quickly and they made quiet clicking sounds to each other. Coordinator Zekith spoke again. "We are pleased to see you bring healing knowledge. This shows good intentions." The meeting continued well. The humans and Vespari shared basic information about their worlds and people. Alex noticed that the Vespari used not just sounds but also smells to communicate. Small scent glands on their necks released different odors as they spoke. After an hour, Coordinator Zekith invited them deeper into the station for a meal. The team followed the 3 Vespari through curved hallways. Alex saw more Vespari watching, from side passages. Some wore different colored markings on their shells, possibly showing different jobs or ranks. They entered a large eating area with a round table. The Vespari offered seats to the humans. Small bowls of colored liquids and plates of strange foods were brought out. Ryan Baker scanned the food with a small device. "It seems safe for humans," he said quietly. "No toxic materials." Alex watched carefully as the Vespari ate. They used their lower 2 arms to hold foods and their upper arms to bring it to their mouth parts. Captain Miller raised a small cup of blue liquid. "To new friendships between our peoples," Ryan translated. But something went wrong. The translation device made a harsh buzzing sound, then spoke in broken Vespari language. The 3 Vespari suddenly stood up. Their body posture changed completely. Their antennae went stiff, and a strong smell filled the room. "What happened?" Susan Green asked. Ryan checked the device. Something's wrong with the translator. I think it just insulted them badly. The largest Vespari, Coordinator Zikith, made sharp clicking sounds. More Vespari entered the room, these wearing what looked like armor. We need to leave, Captain Miller said calmly. Now. The humans stood slowly. Frank and Kate moved their hands toward their weapons but didn't draw them. Ryan, tell them it was a translation error, Miller ordered. Ryan tried to explain, but the translator continued to malfunction, making things worse. The Vespari warriors moved closer. Back to the ship, Miller ordered. Slowly, they began backing toward the door. Suddenly, one of the Vespari warriors lunged forward. Kate pushed Alex out of the way and was struck in the shoulder by a sharp claw. That broke the tension. Fighting erupted in the room. Frank fired his stun weapon, hitting one Vespari who fell to the floor. Captain Miller pushed Susan toward the exit while Ryan tried once more to communicate. "Run!" Miller shouted. The team fled through the hallways. More Vespari appeared, blocking their path. They had to take a different route. "This way," Frank called, pointing down a side passage. As they ran, Kate stumbled. Blood soaked her uniform where the Vespari had cut her. "Keep going," Miller ordered. "Get to the ship." Alex stopped beside Kate. "I'm not leaving her. There's no time." Miller argued. "I'm a doctor," Alex said firmly. "I don't leave injured people." Frank saw a small storage room. "In here," he said, opening the door. "You can hide until we come back." Miller made a quick decision. "Frank, stay with them. Susan, Ryan with me. We'll bring back help." The captain and the others continued toward the ship, while Alex, Kate, and Frank entered the storage room. Frank locked the door behind them. Alex quickly examined Kate's wound. "The cut is deep, but I can stop the bleeding." As Alex worked on Kate's injury, they heard sounds of fighting from distant parts of the station. Alarm signals rang through the halls. "What do we do now?" Frank asked, his weapon ready. Alex finished bandaging Kate's shoulder. "We wait for rescue," she said, "and we stay alive until then." She didn't know that this moment was just the beginning. Soon this doctor who had sworn to heal would be forced to use her medical knowledge in ways she never imagined. And the Vespari would learn why humans were the most dangerous species they had ever encountered. Why the human medic was covered in enemy blood instead of healing. Part 2, The Nature of Survival. 3 hours passed since Captain Miller and the others left. Alex, Frank, and Kate remained hidden in the small storage room. Kate lay on the floor, her breathing steady but her face pale. Frank stood by the door, weapon ready. Alex checked Kate's bandages again. "How is she?" Frank asked quietly. "Stable for now," Alex said. "But we need to move to a better place. This room has no water or food." Frank nodded. "I agree. But where? This station is filled with angry Vespari." Alex thought for a moment. "During our tour, I saw a bigger storage area 2 levels down. It had water pipes running through it. We could go there." "It's risky," Frank said. "But staying here is risky too." He touched his communication device. "Miller? Captain Miller? Can anyone hear me?" Only static answered. Alex gathered her medical supplies. "Let's move now, while Kate is stable enough to walk with help." They carefully opened the door. The hallway was empty, but alarm sounds still echoed through the station. Frank went first, his weapon ready. Alex helped Kate walk, supporting her with one arm. They moved slowly through the curved hallways. Twice they had to hide when Vespari patrols passed by. It took nearly 30 minutes to reach the stairs leading down. "Wait," Alex whispered, pulling them into a side passage. A moment later, 2 Vespari warriors walked by. Alex watched them carefully. She noticed how they moved, how their antennae twitched, how scent glands on their necks released smells when they communicated. "They're using smells to talk silently," she whispered, "and their joint points between shell pieces are weaker than the shell itself." Frank gave her a strange look. "How do you know that?" "I studied insect-like biology before medical school," Alex explained. "These Vespari are similar to creatures I researched." They continued down to the lower level. The large storage room was where Alex remembered, and it was empty of Vespari. Inside were tall shelves with containers, pipes along the ceiling, and a small side room. "This will work," Frank said, closing and locking the door. Alex helped Kate lie down on some padding they made from soft material found on the shelves. Then she checked the pipes. "This one carries water," she said, pointing to a blue pipe with a small valve. "We can drink from it." Frank explored the containers on the shelves. "Some of these might have food, but I'm not sure what's safe for humans to eat." Alex took out her medical scanner. "This can test for poisons and harmful substances." They set up a small camp in the corner farthest from the door. Alex made Kate comfortable while Frank created a hiding spot using large containers. If Vespari came in, they could hide behind this wall. As hours passed, Alex checked her medical supplies. She had bandages, pain medicine, antibiotics, and surgical tools. Not enough for serious injuries, but enough to keep Kate stable. Frank tried his communication device again. Still no signal. The Vespari must be blocking it. Kate woke up feeling better, but hungry. They tested several food containers with Alex's scanner and found some that contained simple sugars and proteins safe for humans. "Not tasty," Kate said weakly, "but better than nothing." That night, while Kate and Frank slept, Alex couldn't rest. She took out her small computer pad and began making notes about the Vespari. She drew their body structure, marking the joint, points where shell segments connected. She noted the scent glands and what little she knew about their communication. "Knowledge is power," she whispered to herself. The next morning, Frank woke Alex. "I need to scout the station," he said. "We need to know what we're facing." Alex didn't like the idea. "It's too dangerous." "We can't just sit here waiting to be found," Frank argued. "I'll be careful. 2 hours, that's all." Finally, Alex agreed. Frank left, moving silently into the hallway. While he was gone, Alex used her scanner to check Kate's wound. It was starting to show signs of infection. Alex gave her antibiotics, but wasn't sure if they would work against bacteria from an alien station. "Where's Frank?" Kate asked, her voice weak. "Scouting," Alex said. "He'll be back soon." 3 hours passed. Frank didn't return. Alex grew worried. "Something's wrong," she said. "He should be back by now." Suddenly they heard noises outside the storage room. Voices clicked and hummed. Vespari language. Alex quickly helped Kate into their hiding place behind the containers. They crouched down, barely breathing. The door opened. 3 Vespari warriors entered, their compound eyes scanning the room. They carried weapons that looked like spears. With glowing tips, Alex and Kate remained perfectly still. The warriors searched the room, checking behind containers but not yet finding their hiding spot. One Vespari found Alex's medical scanner she had left out. It clicked rapidly to the others. They began a more thorough search. Alex knew they would be found soon. She reached into her medical kit and took out a syringe filled with strong sedative. It was meant for humans, but might affect the insect-like Vespari too. When the first warrior pushed aside the container hiding them, Alex was ready. She jumped forward and jammed the needle into the joint between the Vespari's neck and chest, the weakest point she had identified. The warrior made a high-pitched sound and fell backward. The other 2 turned quickly, raising their weapons. Alex grabbed a metal pipe and swung it, hitting one Vespari's arm joint. The warrior dropped its weapon. The third Vespari fired its weapon. A glowing energy beam hit the wall near Alex, burning a hole through the metal. Alex ducked and rolled forward, stabbing another syringe into this warrior's leg joint. The second Vespari, now recovered, grabbed Alex from behind. Its strong arms held her tight. Alex couldn't reach any more syringes. She was trapped. Then a shot rang out. The Vespari holding Alex jerked and fell. Frank stood in the doorway, his weapon smoking. "Sorry I'm late," he said, breathing hard. "Got held up?" Alex rushed to check the fallen Vespari. 2 were unconscious from her sedatives. The third was dead from Frank's shot. Yellow blood leaked from its body. "What happened to you?" Alex asked Frank. "I was captured," he said. "Escaped when they were moving me to another cell." Found 4 more of our crew also captured. They're hiding 2 levels up. Alex looked at her hands, now stained with yellow Vespari blood. She had never hurt anyone before. As a doctor, she had sworn to heal, not harm, but now she had used her medical knowledge as a weapon. "We need to move," Frank said urgently. "More warriors will come looking for these 3. Alex nodded. "Help me with Kate and Frank, those other crew members. Are they hurt?" "Yes," Frank said grimly. "They need a doctor." Alex looked once more, at the yellow blood on her hands. Then she grabbed her medical kit. "Let's go," she said. "I have patients to treat." She didn't know it yet, but this was just the beginning of how a healer would become the most feared human on the station. Why the human medic was covered in enemy blood instead of healing Part 3. The breaking point, Frank led Alex and Kate through dark hallways of the Vespari station. Kate was stronger now, but still needed help walking. Alex carried her medical bag, now lighter without the syringes she had used on the Vespari warriors. "How much further?" Alex whispered. "1 more level up," Frank said. "They're hiding in an old air system room." They moved carefully, stopping at each corner to listen and look. Alex's heart beat fast. The yellow Vespari blood still stained her hands. She couldn't wash it off completely. After 20 minutes of slow movement, they reached a small door hidden behind some pipes. Frank knocked in a pattern. 3 quick, 2 slow. The door opened slightly. "It's me," Frank said. "I brought help." The door opened wider. Inside, a small room held 4 humans. Alex recognized them all from the Horizon crew. Jack Winters, AI, young engineer. Mary Ellis, a science officer. Paul Wright, the ship's cook. And Linda Brown, another security officer like Frank. All 4 looked tired and hurt. Jack had a burn on his arm. Mary had a deep cut on her leg. Paul's face was bruised, badly. Linda held her arm at a strange angle, clearly broken. "A doctor," Linda said with relief in her voice. "Thank goodness." Alex went right to work. She checked each person's injuries, starting with the most serious. Mary's leg was infected worse than Kate's shoulder. Paul might have a concussion. Linda's arm was definitely broken. "I need better supplies," Alex said after examining everyone. "Antibiotics, pain medicine, proper bandages, splints for Linda's arm." Frank frowned. "Where do we get those? We're trapped on an enemy station." Alex thought for a moment. "The Vespari must have a medical area. If their biology is similar enough to ours, some of their medicines might work for humans." "Too dangerous," Kate said from where she sat against the wall. "They'll kill us if they catch us. We'll die anyway if these infections get worse," Alex replied. She looked at Mary's leg. The red streaks spreading from the wound were a very bad sign. "Mary has maybe 2 days before blood poisoning kills her." The room grew quiet. Everyone knew Alex was right. "I saw a medical area when they took me through the station," Frank said finally. "Level 5, East Section. It's where they took some injured Vespari after our fight when escaping." Alex nodded. "I'll go." "Not alone," Frank said. "I'm coming." "With you?" "No," Alex said firmly. "These people need protection. You're the only one with a working weapon. I'll go alone." Everyone argued, but Alex wouldn't change her mind. She emptied her medical bag of everything except basic tools. She needed space for the supplies she would take. "How will you find your way?" Linda asked. Alex pulled out her small computer pad. "I've been mapping the station based on what we've seen. I'm good with directions." "What about the Vespari?" Kate asked. "They're stronger than humans." Alex looked at her hands, still stained with yellow blood. "I know where they're weak. It's all about knowing the right spots." Before leaving, Alex studied everything they knew about Vespari patrol patterns. Frank had noticed they changed guards every 4 hours. If she timed it right, she could move during the confusion of guard changes. "If I'm not back in 3 hours, assume I won't be coming back," Alex told them. Frank gave her his knife. It wasn't much, but it was better than nothing. Alex put it in her pocket and slipped out the door. The hallways seemed bigger and more dangerous, now that she was alone. Alex moved slowly, stopping often to listen. She used her memory of Vespari biology to guide her. If she had to hide, she looked for spots where the Vespari's compound eyes might not see well. It took nearly an hour to reach level 5. Twice she had to hide from patrols. Once she froze in place as a single Vespari warrior walked right past her, its antennae waving but not detecting her. The medical area had glass doors. Inside, Alex could see several injured Vespari on beds. 2 medical workers moved among them. They wore different colored markings on their shells, perhaps the sign of healers. Alex watched for 20 minutes, studying how the Vespari medical workers treated patients. They used liquid medicines from colored bottles. They applied paste-like substances to wounds. They connected injured Vespari to machines with screens showing vital signs. She needed a distraction to get inside. Looking around, Alex saw a control panel on the wall nearby. It had buttons with symbols she didn't understand. Taking a chance, she pressed several buttons quickly. Alarms began ringing in a distant part of the station. The medical workers inside looked up, their antennae moving quickly. One left immediately, rushing toward the alarm. The other stayed with the patients but moved to a communication panel on the wall. This was her chance. Alex slipped inside while the remaining medical worker had its back turned. She hid behind a large cabinet of supplies. The medical worker finished at the communication panel and returned to the patients. Alex carefully opened the cabinet. Inside were rows of bottles, containers, and tools. She studied them quickly, comparing them to human medical supplies she knew. Some had symbols she recognized from her xenobiology studies, universal medical symbols for pain relief, antibiotics, and blood medicines. Alex took several small bottles and containers that seemed most useful. She also grabbed bandages and what looked like splint materials for broken limbs. Just as she finished filling her bag, she heard a loud clicking sound. The medical worker had seen her. It rushed toward her, making alarm sounds with its mouth. Parts. Alex didn't hesitate. She remembered what she had learned about Vespari weak points. As the worker reached for her, she drove Frank's knife into the joint between the Vespari's head and body. Yellow blood sprayed out, covering Alex's face and chest. The Vespari collapsed, still alive but badly injured. Alex felt sick. She was a doctor. She was supposed to heal, not harm. But these were her crew members' lives at stake. She grabbed her filled bag and ran for the door. In the hallway, she heard more alarm sounds. The distraction she had created was bringing more Vespari to this area. Alex ran down a side passage, trying to remember her map. She took a wrong turn and found herself in a dead end. Footsteps approached behind her. She was trapped. 3 Vespari warriors appeared, blocking her escape. They raised their weapons. Alex backed against the wall, clutching her medical bag. She had Frank's knife, now covered in yellow blood, but it wouldn't be enough against 3 armed warriors. Then she remembered something from her studies. The Vespari communicated partly through smells, and the smell of their own blood was a strong alarm signal, a warning of danger. Alex stepped forward boldly. The blood of their medical worker covered her face and clothes. She waved her arms, spreading the scent. The effect was immediate. The Vespari warriors stepped back, their antennae going stiff with alarm. In their biology, only the most dangerous predators would be covered in Vespari blood. Alex moved forward slowly. The warriors continued to back away. Their instincts told them this blood-covered human was extremely dangerous. They couldn't know that Alex had never hurt anyone before today. She walked past them, head high, the smell of their compatriots, blood creating a shield around her. Once past, she ran as fast as she could back toward the hiding place. When she finally reached the hidden room, Frank opened the door with his gun ready. He stepped back in shock when he saw her. "Alex, what happened? You're covered in their blood." Alex put down her bag of supplies. Her hands were shaking, but her voice was steady. "I got what we needed," she said, "and I learned something important. They fear their own blood more than they fear our weapons." She opened the bag to show the medicines and supplies. "Now let me treat our people." As she washed her hands and prepared to help Mary first, Alex caught a glimpse of herself in a small metal surface. Yellow blood covered her face like war paint. She hardly recognized herself. The human medic was becoming something else, something that would soon make the Vespari fear the very mention of a human doctor. Why the human medic was covered in enemy blood instead of healing. Part 4. The Human Element. 3 days passed since Alex's trip to the Vespari medical area. The human survivors had moved to a larger hiding place in an unused storage section. Frank and Linda, whose arm was now in a makeshift splint, took turns standing guard at the door. Alex had treated everyone with the stolen medicines. Mary's infected leg was healing. Kate could walk without help now. Paul's head was better. Jack's burn was healing cleanly, but Alex had changed. She spent hours studying her notes on Vespari biology. She mixed chemicals from her medical kit with substances from the station to create new tools. One was a spray made from cleaning fluids and medicines that affected Vespari nervous systems. "What are you making?" Jack asked, watching her work. "Protection," Alex said simply. She didn't want to explain that she was making weapons. Frank entered, the room from guard duty. "Alex, we need to talk." They moved to a corner where others couldn't hear. Frank looked worried. "Our food is almost gone," he said. "And the Vespari are searching more areas each day. They'll find us soon." Alex nodded. "I know. We need a new plan." "I've been thinking," Frank said. "The communication room is on level 6. If we could reach it, maybe we could send a message to Earth or the horizon." "The Vespari will have guards there," Alex said. Frank looked at her strangely. "You got past them before." Alex knew what he meant. The yellow blood that had covered her had scared the Vespari away. She had washed most of it off, but the memory remained. "That was different," she said. "I was desperate." "We're all desperate now," Frank replied. That night, Alex couldn't sleep. She thought about her oath as a doctor. First, do no harm. But she also thought about her duty to protect her patients. If they didn't get help soon, they would all die here. In the morning, Alex made her decision. "Frank, Linda," she called them over. "I have a plan." The three of them sat together, speaking quietly. Alex explained her idea. Frank and Linda looked shocked. "That's extreme," Linda said. "It's smart," Frank argued. "The Vespari fear her now. We should use that." Alex felt cold inside. "I don't want to hurt them, but I will if that's what it takes to save our people." They prepared carefully. Alex mixed more of her spray chemicals. Linda helped her create small weapons from medical tools and station materials. Frank drew a map to the communication room, based on what he remembered. When night came, they told the others the plan. Jack, Mary, Paul, and Kate would stay hidden. Alex, Frank, and Linda would go to the communication room and send a distress signal. "Be careful," Mary said, squeezing Alex's hand. "You saved my life. I don't want to lose you now." Alex, Frank, and Linda left the hiding place. They moved through the dark hallways, Alex leading the way. She had memorized the Vespari patrol patterns. They reached level 6 without being seen. The communication room was at the end of a long hallway. 2 Vespari guards stood at the door. "Now." "What?" Linda whispered. Alex took out a small container of yellow liquid. "Vespari blood I saved from the medical area. It still has the scent they fear." She dipped her hands in the blood and smeared it on her face. Then she took out her spray mixture. "Stay here," she told Frank and Linda. "If this works, I'll signal you to follow." Alex walked openly down the hallway toward the guards. When they saw her, they raised their weapons. Then they smelled the blood on her. Their antennae went stiff. Alex raised her hands to show she wasn't holding weapons. She moved slowly, calmly. The guards backed up slightly. When she was close enough, Alex suddenly sprayed her mixture at the guards. It hit them in the face area near breathing holes. The effect was immediate. Both guards collapsed, not dead but unable to move. "Come on," Alex called to Frank and Linda. They ran to join her at the communication room door. Frank tried to open it, but it was locked. "Move aside," Linda said. She took out a small device she had made from station parts. After working on the lock for a minute, the door slid open. Inside, the communication room was filled with screens and control panels. A single Vespari sat at the main console. It turned, surprised to see them. Before it could react, Alex sprayed. It too. The Vespari fell from its chair. "Hurry," Alex said. "More guards will come soon." Jack had taught them the basics of communication systems. Frank worked on the controls while Linda stood guard at the door. "I think I've got it," Frank said after several minutes. "This should send a broad signal that Earth stations can detect." He activated the system and spoke into a microphone-like device. "This is Security Officer Frank Adams of Earthship Horizon. We are trapped on Vespari Station 4 after first contact went wrong. 7 survivors need immediate rescue. The Vespari are hostile. Repeat, 7 survivors need rescue." He set the message to repeat and turned to Alex. "Now we wait and hope someone hears it." Alarm sounds began ringing throughout the station. Linda looked out the door. "We have company coming. Lots of them." Alex looked around the room. "We need to hold this position as long as possible to make sure the message keeps transmitting." Frank checked his weapon. "I don't have enough shots for all of them." Alex touched the yellow blood on her face. It was drying, losing its effect. She looked at the fallen Vespari controller and made a hard decision. "Fresh blood will scare them more," she said quietly. Linda and Frank watched as Alex took out her medical knife and cut the fallen Vespari's arm where she knew blood vessels were located. Fresh yellow blood flowed out. "I'm sorry," Alex whispered to the unconscious alien. She covered her hands and face with the fresh blood. She also put some on Frank and Linda's clothes. "They'll fear all of us now," she said. The sound of many feet approached. Alex stood in the doorway covered in yellow blood, her spray ready in one hand, a medical knife in the other. She no longer looked like a doctor. She looked like a warrior. The first group of Vespari warriors appeared at the end of the hallway. They stopped when they saw Alex. Their antennae detected the blood smell. They made clicking sounds of alarm to each other. More warriors joined them, but none approached. The sight of a human covered in their people's blood had created a barrier they were afraid to cross. For 2 hours, this standoff continued. The message kept transmitting. The Vespari gathered more warriors but didn't attack. They seemed to be waiting for something. Then a new Vespari appeared. This one was larger than the others with red and gold markings on its shell. The other warriors moved aside for it. "That must be their leader," Frank whispered. The large Vespari looked at Alex for a long time. Then it spoke, its voice translated by a device it carried. "Human healer," it said. "You have become a warrior." Alex was surprised it could speak to her. "I am still a healer," she replied. "I fight to protect my patients." The Vespari leader made a gesture Alex didn't understand. "Our mistake was great. We thought your translation error was an attack. We responded badly." Before Alex could reply, a new sound filled the station. The sound of ship engines. A voice came through the communication system, speaking English. "Vespari Station 4, this is Earth Rescue Ship Defender. We received your distress call. We are docking now. Please respond." Frank rushed to the console. "Defender, this is Frank Adams. 7 survivors inside. The situation is tense but currently non-violent." The Vespari leader looked at Alex again. "More humans come. Will there be more fighting?" Alex thought carefully. She was tired of blood and fear. "That depends on you. We came in peace. We still want peace." The leader was silent for a moment. Then it lowered its weapons. "The blood-covered healer speaks truth. We will talk instead of fight." When the rescue team from Earth arrived 30 minutes later, they found something no one expected. Humans and Vespari sitting together in the communication room, attempting to understand each other. Commander Diane Ward, leader of the rescue team, stared at Alex with shock. "Dr. Carter, why are you covered in their blood?" Alex looked down at her blood-stained hands. "It's a long story, Commander, but I think it might help us find peace." The Vespari leader made a sound like clicking laughter. "The human who knows how to kill us also knows how to heal us. This is a strange wisdom we did not expect." As the rescue team led the survivors toward their ship, Alex knew she was forever changed. She had crossed a line between healer and warrior and found a strange new place in between. Why the human medic was covered in enemy blood instead of healing. Part 5. Reconciliation. 2 weeks passed since the rescue ship Defender arrived at Vespari Station 4. The situation had changed completely. Now humans and Vespari worked together in what was being called the First Contact Recovery Mission. Alex sat in a new room that had been set up as a human medical office. She was writing notes on her computer pad about Vespari biology. The door opened and Commander Diane Ward walked in. "How are you today, Dr. Carter?" Ward asked. Alex looked up and gave a small smile. "Better. The nightmares are less frequent now." After returning to the Defender, Alex had struggled with what she had done on the station. She had hurt and killed to protect her patients. It went against everything she believed as a doctor. The ship's counselor was helping her process these feelings. "Good to hear," Ward said. "I have news. Earth Central has reviewed all reports about the first contact incident. They agree that the translation error was no one's fault, just bad luck." Alex nodded. The error had caused the Vespari to believe humans were threatening to eat their young. No wonder they had reacted with violence. "What happens now?" Alex asked. "That's why I'm here," Ward said. "The Vespari High Command has requested a human representative for peace talks. They asked for you specifically." Alex was shocked. "Me? Why would they want me?" "I hurt their people." "That's exactly why," Ward explained. "They respect you. Their leader, Zaltak, said you showed them the true nature of humans, that we will protect our own with great fierceness, but we prefer peace when possible." Alex wasn't sure how to feel about this. She had been avoiding the Vespari since the rescue, ashamed of what she had done to them. "When do they want to meet?" she asked finally. "Tomorrow," Ward said. "In their main meeting chamber." That night, Alex couldn't sleep. She thought about all that had happened. She remembered the yellow blood on her hands, the fear in the Vespari, warriors' postures when they saw her. She had become something she never wanted to be, but maybe now she could use that to create something good. If the Vespari respected her because of what she had done, perhaps she could help build a real peace between their peoples. The next morning, Alex put on a clean uniform provided by the Defender crew. No bloodstains, no weapons hidden in pockets. She would go as herself, a doctor, a healer. Commander Ward and 2 security officers walked with Alex to the Vespari meeting chamber. It was a large, round room with a high ceiling. 15 Vespari waited inside, including the leader, Zaltak, with its red and gold shell markings. "The human healer comes," Zaltak said through its translator. "Welcome." Alex stepped forward, her heart beating fast. "I come seeking peace and understanding." Zaltak made a gesture with its upper arms. "Before we begin formal talks, I must ask, why did you not kill more of my people when you had the chance? You knew our weak points. You had created effective weapons. Yet you only harmed those who directly threatened you." The room was silent. All the Vespari watched Alex, their compound eyes unblinking, their antennae still. Alex thought carefully about her answer. "I am a doctor. My purpose is to heal, not harm. Every life I took weighs heavily on me. I did only what was necessary to protect my patients, nothing more." Zaltak clicked its mouthparts, and what Alex had learned was a sign of approval. "This is why we requested you, Dr. Alex Carter. You understand both healing and protection. Our peoples are not so different." One of the other Vespari stepped forward. Alex recognized the pattern on its shell. It was a medical worker, like the one she had injured in the medical area. "I am Sentith, lead healer of this station," it said through a translator. "You injured one of my assistants." Alex looked down. "I did. I am sorry for that." "Do not be sorry," Sentith replied. "The assistant survived, and we learned much from studying how you attacked. You knew exactly where to strike, where our bodies are most vulnerable. Your knowledge is impressive." Another Vespari spoke. "Our warriors say you became covered in our blood to frighten us. This was clever." In our history, only our worst predators would wear the blood of their prey. Alex shook her head. That wasn't my intention at first. It was an accident that I discovered your fear response to the blood scent. Later, I used that knowledge to protect my people. Zoltak made a sound that the translator didn't catch. The other Vespari reacted with movements that seemed like surprise. What did I say? Alex asked, worried she had offended them. You spoke truth when a lie would have made you seem more impressive, Zoltak explained. This is another reason we believe peace is possible between our peoples. The meeting continued for several hours. Alex explained human medical practices and Zentith shared Vespari healing methods. They found many differences but also similarities. Both species valued saving lives. Both had strict codes for their healers. Near the end of the meeting, Zoltak presented Alex with a small container. This holds a rare medicine from our world, the Vespari leader explained. It can heal damaged nerves in both our species. We offer it as a first step in medical exchange. Alex accepted the gift with thanks. She had nothing prepared to give in return, but suddenly had an idea. I would like to offer something as well, she said. She took out her computer pad and transferred her notes on Vespari biology. These are my observations about your physiology, including the weak points I identified. I give this knowledge freely as a sign of trust. The Vespari were silent for a long moment. Then Zoltak spoke. The human healer gives us the very knowledge she used against us. This is either great wisdom or great foolishness. Perhaps a bit of both, Alex said with a small smile, but I believe trust must start somewhere. When the meeting ended, Commander Beau Ward looked at Alex with surprise and respect. That was impressive, Doctor. You've just helped establish the foundation for human-Vespari relations. I hope so, Alex said. I've seen enough blood, both theirs and ours. 3 days later, Alex stood in the airlock of the Defender. The ship would return to Earth today, carrying the survivors and news of the peace agreement. Most of the crew was already aboard, but Alex had one more thing to do. Zentith met her at the Vespari side of the airlock. The healer carried a small package. Before you leave, I wish to give you this, Zentith said. Alex opened the package. Inside was a Vespari medical tool, similar to a scalpel but made of an unusual material. This is made from the shell of a healer who has died, Zentith explained. We believe their knowledge flows through the tool to the next healer. Alex was deeply touched by the gift. I will treasure it. The others wonder, Zentith said hesitantly. Will you tell your people about what happened here? About how you used our blood to frighten us? Alex thought for a moment. I will tell the truth. That a doctor found herself in a situation where she had to choose between her oath to heal and her duty to protect. That sometimes the lines between healer and warrior blur in times of danger. And that in the end, understanding each other's biology led not just to conflict, but to peace. Zentith's antennae moved in what Alex had learned was a gesture of approval. You are welcome to return to our station, blood-covered healer. Next time, perhaps with less blood. Alex smiled. I would like that very much. As the Defender pulled away from the station, Alex watched through a viewport. The story of why the human medic was covered in enemy blood would be told many times in the years to come. But it would not be a story of war or violence. It would be a story of how understanding another species, even knowing how to harm them, could ultimately lead to healing something greater, the relationship between two very different peoples. On her desk in her quarters sat the Vespari medical tool and her own medical scanner. Side by side, they represented her journey from healer to warrior, and back to healer again, but a healer with a deeper understanding of what it sometimes takes to protect those who need protection. Alex touched the spot on her uniform where the Vespari blood had stained the deepest. The stain was gone now, but the memory remained. She would carry it always, not as a badge of shame, but as a reminder that sometimes the path to healing isn't clean or simple or easy. Sometimes it's messy and painful and complicated, just like life itself.